is Larry, and this is another telescope review, as opposed to a JDM car review. Today I'm actually going to review it's called the Gskyer, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is the Gskyer D90 F100 millimeter. And it's F11 or F11.1, if you can see that. This is actually really made by Celestron. So it's just a relabeled Celestron D90 F11 that they sell. And that's usually around a $350 telescope on sale. And you can see this thing's really long. It's over a meter long. It's F11, so it's a meter long. It's about 41 inches when you measure from this edge, that's even without the eyepieces, to this edge. And if you want to make it longer, I think it goes all the way almost to 50 inches when you extend it. So it's a long telescope, although it's not that heavy. This is the equatorial mount version. So Celestron offers two versions of it. And even though it's a Gskyer, it's really Celestron. There's an EQ version, which is a little more expensive than the Alt-Az version, which is, it's easier to move, but if you know about equatorial mounts, basically you point this thing so it's facing the North Star, and that's what you use this to adjust it. And you can look up online how to do that. But basically you level it, have this pointed at the North Star when it's all in neutral position, and then it's much easier to track an object. All you need to do is turn this one here, and you can see it move slightly, and it's really easy. You can follow an object much longer. One thing you should know is for this mount, these just come out, and you can put it over here if you're left-handed. So kind of handy here. So let me see what else. Okay, going over the scope. This is this is considered a higher end beginner telescope. Usually there's like lower diameters. This is an achromat refractor telescope, 3.5 inch or 90 millimeter lens up front. Let me see if you can see that. I'll point it in the sun. You might be able to see that, kind of. You'll see it says F11.1 on there. And then this, you can actually put a solar filter here, although it doesn't work that well. You should just put one on the whole thing. And then it's 1 meter long, as I said before. It's really crisp. It's great for planets and the moon, and you can see nebula. And I'll have a video of me trying to look at Andromeda and Orion. I'll do that in a minute. But this is a good beginner, high-level beginner refractor telescope instead of a reflector. 90 millimeters is about as big as you're going to get for a cheap telescope. And it's an achromat, so it only has has one lens here and then the lens here. And it has a baffle in the middle. Because it's so long, you get less aberrations, chromatic aberrations when you look at it. That's like the red and the blue you might get on the edge when looking at the moon. So longer focal lengths give you much more magnification and less distortion or chromatic aberrations, but they gather less light. They're going to be dimmer. So that's why bright planets and the moon are great for this. I'm trying to think what else. Anyway, I think that's about it. The only issue, what I like is the price. It was good, but you should look for these used. There's a ton of them used under different names. This one is under Gskyer, but it comes with 3 lenses. It comes with a 25 millimeter, I think a 10 and a 5. The 10 and the 25 are good. The 5 is just too magnified. It's not really very good at all. It just doesn't get enough light from the 3.5 inch aperture. The biggest, so that's a good thing. The price is good for planets and stuff like that, and some nebula, Orion and that stuff. What I don't like is the tripod. It's just not strong enough. You can feel it, it's pretty steady, but if you touch it, it jiggles, and then it takes a second to settle down. This is heavy. This part, equatorial mounts always are, because you have to have it weighted. But once you get used to using an equatorial mount, you're going to prefer it over a standard one. And then for a telescope like this, the tripod could be a little higher. It's already high, but for a refractor telescope, you'll have to bend over to look through it. And then looking through the finder scope could be a pain in the butt. Mine came with this on top. It's for a camera, or if you have you can put a phone mount on it and use Astro Hopper, and it can tell you where to look. It's really good. You just shove the phone on here with a phone holder, and then when you move it, it tells you what you're looking at. So it makes it really easy to find objects. This is Larry, and I actually have the Gskyer or the Celestron D90 F11. So this is the 1 meter telescope, and I have it pointed at Jupiter, but you'll notice I have it on a different mount because to try to photograph it looking at Jupiter, I need a mount that can track. So that's why I love the Sky Prodigy mount so much, and it's so easy to adapt to almost any telescope. All right, unfortunately, we'll see how well this works. My camera has not been cooperating at all. I can't get it to even see anything in here. Like, Jupiter's quite bright, but my camera keeps like switching lenses every time I move it. Ugh, so frustrating. Come on, see Jupiter. It won't focus now. That might be it, but oh yeah, you can see it. Yay, but is it focused? Anyway, you can see Jupiter pretty clearly. You can see it's pretty bright. Well, you could. Okay, there's Jupiter. It's not focusing, unfortunately. Let's see. I can't get it to focus. Anyway, but you can see Jupiter's actually quite big, and you can see the bands. So this works actually quite good for that. It's good for planetary, even though tonight is a terrible night. You can't tell, but there's a haze up there. That's Jupiter right there. There's a haze, and it's pretty terrible. Orion, you can't even see the belt. So it's doing quite a good job for even such crappy conditions. Yeah, no, really happy with this. As far as, you know, for a, for a, you know, a 1 meter, 90 millimeter aperture refractor, this does a really good job, especially for the price. This is about as good as you're going to get for the cheaper refractors. Anyway, I'll give you my conclusion. Anyway, the good, crisp, not relatively inexpensive. The bad, the tripod, not very good. Not a bad telescope for what you get.